Look at your gear closet and be honest with yourself for just 1 second. You have spent thousands of dollars on tactical vests, overpriced titanium sporks, and combat knives that have never touched anything harder than a cardboard shipping box. You follow the influencers who look like they are preparing for a zombie apocalypse in a Hollywood soundstage, draped in camouflage that makes them stand out like a neon sign in a dark alleyway. You think you are ready. You think that because you have a $500 prepper kit sitting in your garage, you are the apex predator of the urban grid down scenario. You are wrong, you are loud, and you are the first person who will be targeted the moment the lights go out. If you want to survive the critical first 72 hours of a true civilization collapse, you need to stop buying gear and start buying into the reality of operational security. Welcome to Survive 72, where we stop the fantasy and start the survival. Before we dismantle the lie you have been sold, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the information I'm about to share is the difference between being a target and being a ghost. The industry of survival has sold you a bill of goods. They want you to believe that survival is about gear. They want you to believe that if you have the right plate carrier, the right radio, and the right knife, you are invincible. This is a multi-million-dollar marketing machine designed to exploit your fear and your desire to protect your family. But let me tell you something that the tactical toy stores will never admit. In an urban environment, if you look like you are prepared to fight, you will be the first one to lose. The military knows something that you do not. They understand that perception is reality. When you walk out of your house during a social collapse, wearing tactical colors and carrying a bag that screams survivalist, you are not a survivor. You are a walking supply drop for someone who is desperate, hungry, and smarter than you. That $500 tactical loadout you bought online, it is a giant target painted on your back. Let us talk about the military mindset regarding concealment. The most effective units operate in hostile environments by maintaining low-profile operations. They do not wear bright colors or high-visibility tactical gear when they are trying to blend in. They practice the gray man theory. They understand that the best way to remain invisible is to be uninteresting. When the grid goes down, your neighborhood will be filled with people who are confused, frightened, and increasingly predatory. If you walk out into that chaotic environment looking like a soldier, you are inviting conflict. You are signaling to every opportunistic individual in a 10-block radius that you have supplies, that you have a plan, and that you are an obstacle they need to remove to get what is yours. The military does not issue neon survival kits because they know that gear is secondary to behavior. Your behavior is your primary weapon. If you are twitchy, if you are scanning every horizon with a tactical gaze, if you are carrying gear that looks expensive, you are failing the most basic test of survival. You might be thinking that I am telling you not to have supplies. That is not the case at all. I am telling you to hide them in plain sight. Stop buying the tactical backpacks with the molar webbing everywhere. Stop buying the jackets that have hidden compartments for knives. Stop buying the gear that looks like it belongs in a video game. The professional way to prepare is to invest in mundane, high-quality civilian equipment that no one would ever look twice at. A beat-up canvas bag, a worn-out pair of work boots, and clothing that matches the demographic of your neighborhood, that is your uniform. If you live in an urban center, you need to look like a guy who is just trying to get home, not a guy who is trying to win a war. The military elite call this low-profile operations. I call it common sense. You are not Rambo, and you are not in the movies. You are a family man who needs to get home, secure his house, and keep his family safe without attracting attention from the desperate mob that will form within the first hour of a major blackout. Let us dissect the myth of the tactical loadout. Many of you have spent hours researching the best survival knife, the best tactical flashlight, and the best combat boots. You watch these videos where guys are out in the woods, setting up camps and showing off their massive, shiny, brand new gear. But here is the hard truth. When the grid goes down, you are not going to be in the woods. You are going to be in your apartment or your house in the suburbs. You are going to be surrounded by millions of people who have nothing. The gear you need is not what you see on the internet. You do not need a $300 flashlight. You need a normal-looking flashlight that does not look like a weapon. You do not need a combat knife. You need a high-quality multi-tool that you can use for repairs, for opening cans, and for basic utility work without raising eyebrows. Everything you carry, everything you possess, needs to be dual-purpose and utterly mundane. Why is the military standard different? Because the military is fighting an enemy, but you are trying to avoid becoming an enemy. When you are a soldier, you want to be recognized as a member of your unit. When you are a survivor in an urban collapse, you want to be recognized as nobody. The moment people stop seeing you as a threat or a target is the moment you have a chance to survive. This is the psychology of the gray man. It is not about hiding in a basement. It is about moving through the streets with such normalcy that you are invisible. You are the man who looks like he has nothing worth taking. That is your armor. That is your defense. If you are walking down the street with a high-tech, tactical-looking pack, you are telling everyone you meet that you have food, you have medicine, and you have batteries. Do you think that is wise? Do you think that makes you safe? It makes you a target, and believe me, someone else is always hungrier than you. Let us talk about the actual military gear that you might find useful, because I am not saying you should have nothing. I am saying you should have the right things. The military produces items that are durable, functional, and cheap because they are mass-produced for millions of personnel. Look at the surplus market, but look for the right items. A simple military surplus wool blanket. That is gold. It is warm, it is durable, and it can be used for a dozen different things. But do not wear a camouflage poncho. Throw that blanket into a simple, nondescript canvas bag. Look for basic, high-quality medical supplies, things like tourniquets and pressure bandages, but keep them in a standard, unremarkable toiletry bag, not a tactical pouch with a red cross on it. If you have to treat a wound, you do not want to advertise that you have medical supplies, because in a societal collapse, medical supplies are worth more than gold. People will hurt you to get what you have in that pouch. The biggest mistake I see preppers making is the obsession with defensive hardware. Everyone wants to talk about their rifles and their pistols. They talk about defensive perimeters and home defense tactics. While it is true that you must be able to defend your home, you must understand that the best defense is not having to fight at all. If your home looks like a fort, if you have reinforced windows and visible deterrents everywhere, you are signaling that there is something inside worth protecting. You are creating a challenge for the desperate, and you are inviting them to test your defenses. You need to keep your home looking like every other house on the street. Deterrence is about being a hard target, but it is also about being a boring target. A house that looks like it has been abandoned or stripped already is a house that people will skip over. That is the secret. That is the gray man philosophy applied to your residence. You also need to think about your operational security, or OPsec. Every time you post on social media about your new gear or talk to your neighbors about your survival plans, you are compromising your security. Every person you tell about your food storage is a person who will come to your door within 48 hours of a crisis. You think you are building a community, but you are actually creating a liability. When the system collapses, the people you talk to today will be the people who remember you have supplies tomorrow. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your preparations private. If you have to help your neighbors, do it in a way that does not expose your own resources. Use your knowledge to guide them, not your goods to sustain them. That is how you survive without becoming a victim of your own generosity. Let us address the emotional impact of this reality. It is scary to admit that your expensive gear is a mistake. It hurts to realize that you have wasted money on things that might actually get you killed, but you need to let go of that ego right now. The survival of your family is more important than your pride or your collection of tactical gadgets. Sell the gear that makes you look like a target. Take that money and invest it in things that no one can see: skills, knowledge, and relationships. Learn how to fix your own plumbing. Learn how to perform basic medical procedures. Learn how to negotiate and de-escalate confrontations. These are the tools that will keep you alive when the power stays off and the stores stay closed. These are the tools that the military values above all else, because they know that when the equipment breaks, the soldier is all that is left. What about the 72-hour window? This is the most dangerous time. This is when the panic is highest, when the looting starts, and when the unprepared begin to realize that nobody is coming to save them. If you can survive these 72 hours without being noticed, you have a massive advantage. You will have preserved your resources while others are burning through theirs in a panic. You will have observed the environment, identified the threats, and secured your position. By the time the 4th day comes around, you will be the one with the clear head and the supplies, while the guys with the tactical vests are exhausted, exposed, or gone. That is how you win. You win by waiting, by observing, and by refusing to play the game that everyone else is playing. Stop looking for the secret weapon. Stop looking for the gadget that will solve all your problems. There is no such thing. The secret weapon is you. It is your mind, your ability to remain calm, and your ability to adapt to situations that you did not anticipate. It is your willingness to be boring. It is your commitment to not being the person who stands out in a crowd. I want you to look at your preps today with fresh eyes. Ask yourself, if I were a stranger walking through this neighborhood, would I think this house has food? Would I think this person is prepared? If the answer is yes, you are doing it wrong. You need to be invisible. You need to be the person who nobody remembers seeing, the person who blends into the background of a failing civilization. Think about the way you walk. Think about the way you talk. If you spend your time talking about survival, preppers, or the end of the world, stop it. You are flagging yourself as a person of interest. Start talking about normal things. Start living a normal life. The more normal you look, the less likely you are to be harassed. When the panic sets in, everyone will be focused on the loud ones, the ones carrying tactical gear, the ones who seem to have a plan. You will be the one who looks just as scared and just as confused as everyone else. That is your camouflage. That is your survival. The military understands this better than anyone else. They know that the most dangerous enemy is the one you do not see coming. By being the one who is not seen, you are effectively neutralizing the threats that would otherwise target you. You have probably been taught that you need to be strong, that you need to be aggressive, and that you need to be prepared for a fight. I am telling you to be smart. Being smart means avoiding the fight altogether. It means knowing when to stay inside, when to keep your lights off, and when to disappear. It means having a plan for your family that does not involve standing in the street with a rifle. Your family is your priority, and the best way to keep them safe is to prevent them from ever being in a situation where they have to defend themselves. This is not cowardice. This is high-level survival strategy. If you think that is wrong, then you are still living in the fantasy world that you have been sold by the industry. You need to wake up. I know this is not the answer you wanted to hear. You wanted me to tell you which knife to buy or which tactical bag is the most durable. But if I told you that, I would be just like everyone else. I would be part of the problem. I want you to be part of the solution. I want you to be a survivor who actually makes it through the collapse. And that starts with changing your mindset. Stop buying things. Start building your intelligence. Because when the lights go out and the world changes, the only thing that will keep you alive is what is inside your head. Your gear is just a supplement. Your brain is the primary system. Let us revisit the idea of the gray man. It is not just about your clothes or your gear. It is about your actions. If you see a crowd gathering, do you stop to see what is happening? No. You keep walking. If you see a commotion, do you get involved? No. You stay away. If you notice something unusual in your neighborhood, do you make a scene? No. You document it, you analyze it, and you adjust your plans accordingly. You are a ghost. You are not a participant in the chaos. You are an observer of it. This requires discipline. It requires you to put aside your curiosity and your ego. It is hard, but it is necessary. Consider the impact of community. You think you need a massive group of preppers to survive. You think you need to have a fortified compound with guards. That is just another target. You need a small, tight-knit group of people you can trust, and you need to keep that group secret. You need to have clear communication protocols that do not involve electronic devices that can be tracked. You need to have a plan for meeting up that does not involve traveling through main roads or high traffic areas. You need to be as low profile in your interpersonal interactions as you are in your physical appearance. This is the reality of urban survival. It is not about tanks and tactical vests. It is about intelligence, behavior, and invisibility. If you are willing to change the way you think, you can survive almost anything. But you have to be willing to admit that you might be wrong. You have to be willing to strip away the false sense of security that your gear has given you. It is time to get serious. It is time to get real. It is time to start acting like a survivor instead of a hobbyist. Do you know what really happens in the first 72 hours of an urban crisis? The communication lines fail. The internet goes down. The grocery stores are emptied within hours. People start to panic. The police cannot respond to every call. The streets become dangerous. If you are prepared, you stay home. You stay inside. You do not need to go to the store because you have everything you need. You do not need to go out because you have planned for this. You are not part of the chaos. You are above it. You are looking down from a position of control. That is what being a prepper is supposed to be about. Not hoarding expensive gear, but preparing your environment and your mindset for the inevitable. Now, look at your family. What is the most important thing for them? It is not your gear. It is your leadership. They need to know that you are calm. They need to know that you have a plan. They need to know that you are in control. If they see you panicking, if they see you fumbling with your expensive, complicated tactical gear, they will panic too. Your leadership is the most important resource you have. If you are calm, they are calm. If you are confident, they are confident. That is the true essence of preparation. You have all heard the stories about the collapse of civilization, where everything goes wrong, and only the ones with the best equipment survive. That is a myth. The people who survive are the ones who can think on their feet, the ones who know how to blend in, and the ones who have a clear understanding of the risks they face. They are the ones who understand that the most dangerous thing you can do is stand out. They are the ones who know that the best way to survive is to be the person who nobody remembers. If you are still convinced that your tactical gear is the answer, then you are not listening. I have seen the results of that mindset, and they are never good. I have seen people try to be heroes, and I have seen them pay the ultimate price. I want you to be different. I want you to survive. And the only way to do that is to embrace the reality of urban survival. It is not about being a soldier. It is about being a survivor. It is about being a ghost. Let us talk about your physical health. You might have the best gear in the world, but if you cannot run for a mile, if you cannot lift a heavy object, if you cannot sustain yourself on basic food for a week, then your gear is useless. Physical fitness is the foundation of survival. You do not need to be an athlete, but you need to be capable. You need to be able to move your body through space effectively. You need to have the stamina to handle the stress of a crisis. If you are not in shape, start today. Not because it is the cool thing to do, but because it is a vital part of your survival plan. What about your mental health? A crisis is an incredibly stressful event. It will test you in ways that you cannot imagine. You need to be mentally resilient. You need to have the ability to handle stress, to make decisions under pressure, and to maintain your focus when everything around you is falling apart. This is not something you can buy in a store. It is something you have to develop. You develop it by challenging yourself, by stepping outside of your comfort zone, and by learning how to handle adversity. You are probably still thinking about that $500 kit. You are thinking about how much time and effort you put into it. It is okay. We all start somewhere, but you need to be willing to evolve. You need to be willing to shed the things that are holding you back. If you are ready to stop playing games, if you are ready to take your survival seriously, then the first step is to simplify. Get rid of the gear that is not serving you. Focus on the basics. Focus on skills. Focus on your mindset. The military has a term for this: mission readiness. Mission readiness is not about having the most gear. It is about being prepared for the mission. And your mission is to keep your family safe during a crisis. If you can do that with a basic set of tools and a sharp mind, you have succeeded. If you fail to do that with a closet full of tactical gear, you have failed. The mission is what matters, not the gear. Always remember that. If you still think the grey man concept is just a theoretical exercise for paranoid preppers, you are ignoring history. History is a brutal teacher, but it provides the exact blueprint of what happens when the grid fails. Let us look at 3 real-world case studies where civilization did not just stumble, it broke its legs. And in each of these scenarios, the guys in the tactical vests were either the first victims or they were stripped of their gear by the very authorities they thought they were bypassing. Case study number 1, the 1977 New York City blackout. On July 13, 1977, lightning strikes caused a catastrophic failure of the power grid in New York City. The lights went out, and within minutes, not days, not hours, but minutes, entire neighborhoods descended into absolute anarchy. Over 1,000 fires were set. More than 1,600 stores were looted. The police were completely overwhelmed. In this scenario, if you walked down the street looking like a tactical warlord, you were not deterring crime. You were inviting a mob. The people who survived the 1977 blackout without injury or loss were the ones who stayed in the shadows. They did not try to defend the neighborhood. They secured their doors, kept their flashlights dim, and made zero noise. They became ghosts while the loud, the proud, and the panicked tore each other apart in the streets. Case study number 2, Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans, 2005. This is the ultimate modern grid-down scenario. After the levees broke, New Orleans became a desperate, lawless island. But here is the lesson the tactical toy industry will never teach you. When the National Guard and private military contractors finally rolled in, they did not look kindly on civilians carrying rifles and wearing plate carriers. In fact, law enforcement actively confiscated weapons from citizens who were visibly armed and looking like a threat. If you stood on your porch in full battle rattle, you were treated as a hostile element or a vigilante. The survivors who thrived were the ones who blended in. They wore dirty civilian clothes. They kept their supplies completely hidden. When patrols passed by, they looked like victims, not combatants. They kept their defensive tools concealed until the absolute moment of life or death. The Grey Man does not get his gear confiscated because the Grey Man does not look like he has any gear to take. Case study number 3, the Texas power crisis, Winter Storm Uri, 2021. This was not a violent collapse, it was a silent, freezing one. Millions of people lost power and water for days in sub-freezing temperatures. Do you know what was entirely useless during Winter Storm Uri? A $400 combat knife and a camouflage chest rig. The people who suffered the most were the ones who prepared for a Hollywood shootout instead of a Tuesday night disaster. The real survivors were the ones who had mundane, boring preparations. They had unglamorous wool blankets, non-tactical propane indoor heaters, battery-powered carbon monoxide detectors, and hidden caches of bottled water. They didn't need to fight, they needed to endure. The Texas freeze proved that Mother Nature is often a deadlier enemy than a looter, and she does not care about your tactical loadout. Now that you understand the why, we need to discuss the how. We have talked about throwing away the bags with the molly webbing and the Velcro patch panels. So, what do you replace it with? How do you carry the tools that will keep you alive without broadcasting to the world that you are a walking supply cache? You need to build the perfect Grey Man bag. This is the bag that gets you from your office to your home, or from your compromised home to a secondary location without a single person looking twice at you. Let us break it down step by step. Step 1. The shell. Do not buy a bag from a survival store. Go to a thrift store or a basic department store. You want a JanSport, a Targus, or a generic gym duffel bag. It should be a muted color, navy blue, charcoal gray, or black. No camo, no olive drab. Scuff it up. Let it sit in the sun to fade a bit. If you are in a business district, a standard, slightly worn laptop messenger bag is your best camouflage. You want to look like a tired commuter who just wants to catch the bus, not a Navy SEAL extracting from hostile territory. Step 2. Hydration concealment. You need water and you need the ability to filter it. But carrying a tactical hydration bladder with a tube over your shoulder screams, "I am prepared for the long haul." Instead, carry a standard, dented stainless steel water bottle, the kind you see at any gym or office. Inside your bag, keep a small high-quality water filter like a Sawyer Mini or a Life Straw. Keep it in a regular Ziploc bag or a cheap pencil case. If someone looks inside your bag, they see school supplies or gym gear, not a survival filtration system. Step 3. The urban multi-tool. Leave the massive fixed-blade survival knife at home. If you pull out a 7-inch combat blade to open a box or cut a zip tie, you are immediately perceived as a threat. Carry a high-quality, reputable multi-tool. It has a blade, pliers, screwdrivers, and a wire cutter. It is socially acceptable to carry. A police officer or a frightened neighbor will look at a multi-tool and see a handyman. They look at a combat knife and see an attacker. Step 4. Medical camouflage. Trauma kits save lives, but a red pouch with a medical cross on the outside makes you a target for anyone who is injured and desperate. Take your tourniquets, your chest seals, and your Israeli bandages and pack them into a cheap, generic toiletry bag. Throw a toothbrush and a travel-sized toothpaste on top. If your bag is searched or spills open, it looks like you are going on an overnight business trip, not setting up a field hospital. Step 5. Environmental protection. You need to stay warm and dry. Pack a lightweight, high-visibility free rain jacket. Pack a simple black beanie and neutral-colored work gloves. Do not pack tactical hard-knuckle gloves. For light, carry a slim, pen-style flashlight or a basic LED headlamp. Keep a portable power bank that looks like a standard phone charger. Finally, carry cash in small denominations. In the first 72 hours before people realize the grid isn't coming back right away, cash is still king. A $20 bill will bribe a security guard or buy a bottle of water much faster than an ounce of silver ever will. This bag is your lifeline. It is boring. It is unimpressive. And that is exactly why it is the most powerful tool in your urban survival arsenal. I want you to really think about the environment you live in. Is it dense? Is it open? Are there natural barriers? Are there choke points? You need to understand the geography of your area. You need to know the escape routes. You need to know the safe places. This is intelligence gathering, and you should be doing it now before the crisis hits. Do not wait until the power is out to start exploring your area. Know it like the back of your hand. That is how you stay ahead of everyone else. What about your resources? You have a supply of food and water, right? But is it the right kind? Is it practical? Can you sustain your family on it for a week? Can you move it if you have to? These are the questions you need to be asking. Do not just buy a bucket of freeze-dried food and call it a day. Think about nutrition. Think about energy. Think about portability. You need to have a plan for your resources. You need to know where they are, how to access them, and how to protect them. I hope you are starting to see the bigger picture here. Survival is not about gear. It is about a philosophy. It is about a mindset. It is about a way of life. If you can adopt this, you will be miles ahead of everyone else. You will be the one who is prepared, not the one who is panicked. You will be the one who is in control, not the one who is at the mercy of the situation. There are going to be those who criticize you. They are going to tell you that you are not doing enough. They are going to tell you that you need more gear. Do not listen to them. They are the ones who are caught in the fantasy. They are the ones who do not understand what it really takes to survive. Stick to your plan. Trust your instincts. Be the gray man. The first 72 hours are the ultimate test. They will reveal who is truly prepared and who is not. If you are honest with yourself, if you have followed the advice I have given you, you will be the one who makes it through. You will be the one who protects your family. You will be the one who survives. Now, I want you to go back to your gear closet. I want you to look at everything you have, and I want you to ask yourself, does this help me survive, or does it just make me look like a target? If it is the latter, get rid of it. You do not need it. You are better off without it. We have covered a lot today, and I know it is a lot to take in. But this is the reality of survival. It is not easy, it is not pretty, and it is not glamorous. But it is effective. It is the difference between surviving and becoming a statistic. I want you to be a survivor. I want you to keep your family safe. If this has resonated with you, if you are ready to stop the fantasy and start the reality, then subscribe to Survive 72. We are here to help you navigate the chaos, to give you the truth, and to empower you with the knowledge that really matters. We are not selling gear, we are selling survival. And the only way to get that is to be prepared, to be smart, and to be invisible. Stay safe, stay smart, and remember, the best survival gear is the stuff that nobody notices. The most effective tactical advantage is being the person that no one thinks is a threat. When everyone else is scrambling and panicking, you will be the eye of the storm. That is the goal of Survive 72. That is the goal for you and your family. If you want to dive deeper into the specific, boring, high-impact skills that actually keep people alive in the field, click the link below to join our masterclass on silent preparation. It is not flashy, it is not expensive, and it will save your life. Do not wait for the grid to go down. The time to disappear is now.